Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Q&A for the Scaling Systems Mastermind. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, and if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I have this in the webinar format, so it's going to be in instead of the typical chat. I think that is disabled. The only thing that will be available is what's called the Q&A. So if you want to go ahead and put your questions into the Q&A box, that would be fantastic for me. And we are going to be able to knock this out of the park. So the thing that I want to just clarify is I actually got on a consult this week, and a lot of people don't even know what scaling systems is. And so I'm going to go through and just talk a little bit about what this program is, what's included, what's happening within this program, so that you have a really good way to make a decision. Is this mastermind the right fit for me? Is this kind of what I want to create? Is this the thing that's going to propel me forward? And I'm going to tell you why I've included very specific things within this mastermind to make sure that you succeed. So, first and foremost, within this mastermind, the reason why I created this is I was going through and building my business, and all I wanted to do was coach. This was back in 2020. And when I was thinking about my business, every single time that I knew I was a good and capable coach, but I knew that I was missing the actual structure of like how to run a coaching business. I had never done it before. And so what I created was with what is now the Scaling Systems Mastermind. And it talks about every single aspect of a coaching business and even any other solopreneur business as well. I think it works great for coaching businesses because that is the business I have grown, but it works for other businesses as well. And I can tell you how to customize it to fit your business's needs. So, the first question is like I was talking with somebody who runs a VA agency, and they were like, "Will scaling systems work for me?" You know who you are. And for me, I wanted to let you know that yes, although this mastermind, this 12-month mastermind, is designed from my experience as a life coach, growing a life coaching business to its first six figures, this also could be applicable for your VA agency. So within the program, the reason why I say that's true is every solopreneur needs to have a brand. You need to, if you want to hit six and multiple six figures and you're serious about growing your business, you really need to have a message that people are like clinging on to in order to build enough name brand recognition for other people to buy from you. So even though you're running a VA agency, one of the things that is important for you to keep in mind is that you are running a company that needs a cohesive message. So you can't just like, especially if you want to hit six and multiple six figures with your agency, you don't just want to be like, a VA is needed. It's like, you need a VA, I'm your person. Sign up for your VA here. I'll talk about how I could support you. That isn't as compelling when we're thinking about really creating a VA agency that is known. Now, you don't have to even niche. This goes for coaches, this goes for any solopreneur. You don't necessarily even have to niche. Like I get that thing for that objection from a lot of coaches. They were like, I don't know if I want to niche. I'm just a general coach. Will this still work for me? And even as you're thinking about running your agency, you don't need to necessarily create an agency that just helps coaches, for example. But as a coach and as a agency, as a realtor, as a wedding planner, no matter what solopreneur business you run, you want to create a brand that's known for things. Are you approachable? Are you efficient? That's the word I was looking for. Are you efficient? Are you going to get the work done? Are you organized? How is you being organized and efficient something that's going to help your clients make more money through your VA agency? So, this is what I call in the Scaling Systems 12-month mastermind your six-figure offer. The offer is more of the all-encompassing brand that you're creating with your business. And when you're thinking about that, okay, what do I want to be known for in my industry? That's what the six-figure offer encompasses. And when I'm teaching this within my mastermind, I'm going to show you what that looks like. just so you guys can see, is this is the first thing that every single person that joins the mastermind is going to get. So, just so you guys can have like an overview, there are two programs that I run now that were yay, hearts for that. There are two programs that came from my old offer, Six Figure Systems. So I had a program called Six Figure Systems, and from that, I created the Scaling Systems Mastermind and Marketing Systems Program. Scaling Systems Mastermind, Marketing Systems Program. Marketing Systems just focuses on marketing and gets you to your first 10K. Scaling systems is all encompassing and it focuses on getting you to 100K plus. So, if you've already made 10K, if you want to get to 100K plus and you want more than just the marketing help, that's why scaling systems is so important. So, when you're thinking about scaling systems and you're going through things like that, within that version of the mastermind, when you're thinking about, okay, I am running my business and I go to a networking event. I go to somebody asked me, like even just friends and family. They're like, "What do you do?" And you're like, "Oh, I have a coaching business." That's not compelling. I run a VA agency. It's like, "Okay, that's nice." But when I told people I was like, "I run a coaching business," they were like, "How does that help me? Who do I actually know that actually wants coaching?" And that's what we focus on in the Scaling Systems Mastermind. That's the first module, is creating a six-figure offer. And that's because when I said, "Oh, I run a coaching business," people are like, "Oh, that's nice. Seems great." But I'm not talking to a result that they want. I'm not talking to the actual thing that they want to create. So when I changed my offer from Megan Wing Coaching to the Career Fulfillment Initiative, it was the same duration of coaching, the same price point, but I got double the consults and double the clients, all because I had a signature six-figure offer. So here's what that looks like for you all. This is the first thing that well, one of the first things that you're going to create is the six-figure offer. And when you join the program, you have a bunch of modules, and I'll talk about the importance of these in just a second. But you'll be able to go in and learn what a six-figure offer looks like, what are value pillars, how you can actually create something that people want to buy. And that's what we do within the mastermind is we take in the Scaling Systems 12-month mastermind, we take your offer from a like, maybe I'll think about it. Let me tell my husband, I have to talk to my husband, to being like, okay, I've been thinking about working with you for a long time. This is something I need to have. So even if you run a business that is not a coaching business, you are still going to learn how to create really a brand and like the recognition that your business deserves. So you want to be known as the most efficient VA agency. You want to be known for double the productivity in less time. You want to be like it by using my VA, you get back your time so you make more sales. Those are the things that we would actually create a name for your VA agency, just like we would create a name for all my coaching businesses. Like you saw Jocelyn, who signed 3 clients in her first month, created the Path to Freedom coaching program. That was her sober coaching program. Instead of saying, I'm a sober coach, she created the Path to Freedom, way more compelling. Same with Demetria. When she was creating her offer, she was talking about, just as a general coach, she was talking about, okay, I want to help women who might be in midlife create really awesome lives that they feel confident with. And she created the Curated Life coaching program and was able to quit her job and go full time. So these are the things that you want to be thinking about when you're thinking about growing your coaching business, or any business. You want to be thinking about, how are people viewing me? What are people in my industry really understanding about me and my offer? And how is it compelling? And that's how Scaling Systems can help you, even if you are not even if you don't coach, even if you don't have a coaching business. So that's the first kind of thing I want to address. The second question I get a lot of times, for the people who are in my world, when you are working full time, this is one of the most important times to figure out, how in the world am I going to actually go full time within my business? When you're thinking about joining a mastermind, where our calls are during the day, why is scaling systems still an important thing for you? And I want to talk to you about what I saw for Monica. So, Monica was one of my clients, and she would go on the calls. And when she was joining our calls, what happened is she wasn't able to make all the calls, but she was able to utilize other pieces of the Scaling Systems 12-month mastermind. I'm just going to keep saying it as many times as possible so everybody actually knows what this is. The Scaling Systems mastermind, when she joined, it's not just about the live coaching calls, because I know that that can feel frustrating if you're like, oh my, even though it's a 12-month mastermind and everyone's going to go trips on, everyone is going to miss weeks. That's fine. But for this mastermind, in order for you to be successful, you don't have to make any of the calls. In fact, some of my clients literally just use the modules and our progress tracker. So every single week at the beginning of our call, we've got two calls, an advanced call for launching group programming, and I'll show you even where that is. So every week in scaling systems, there's a scaling call that's from 10 to 11. And this call is designed for more advanced topics like webinars, group programming, and launching. This is now mostly open coaching, but it's going to get there. And then the open coaching call is from 11 to 1 Eastern on Wednesdays. So anyone can register for this. And when you join, what happens is you can go on the call, you fill out a form to start off. You get a beautiful little form, and on this form, we have, and I took away the client's name for to keep it anonymous, but every single week you have different, like for an entire year, you are going to go in and fill out what your wins of the week were, what is your breakthrough of the week, what are you going to implement by next week, how many hours did you work on your business last week, how much money have you made, and then whether you're growing in your CEO skill sets of marketing, sales, managing leads, planning, and overall organization, along with anything else you want to hear from me. So some of my clients literally don't show up to any of the calls. If they're working full time, I totally get that. And what we do here is we go in and every single week, and again, to keep my clients anonymous, I go in and every single week I give a different video. So every week you fill out those wins, you talk about your breakthrough, you talk about what you're going to implement, we track income, and then I can give you private coaching in that spreadsheet as well. So for all of you that are like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to miss calls, I'm working full time, I only can take off certain days. Like Kristen, she was literally like, okay, I know she's a full-time teacher and she's like, I know I can't actually take off during the teaching day. Or so I can't actually like leave during the coaching call. So what she did is she literally was like, I'm going to take a day off and I'm going to do work on my business on those days. So there's ways around it. And if you've got kind of like a conflict and you're at work during the calls, you can just let me know, okay, is it a good time for me to talk to you? Is it not a good time for me to talk to you? I remember another one of my clients, she would be like, okay, I'm walking out to the parking lot, and she would take her calls there, which was totally fine with me. Now, where are all of those? Where is the form for you? So all the clients that are in the mastermind, they get a separate little portal here. And within here, we have the form, we have the spreadsheet, your folder, which we'll get into in a second, and your six-figure strategy document. So I want you to know that every week, here is a form, and then here's a spreadsheet where the information is. So if you're ever like looking for it, for filling it out on the call, you can. Now, if you are able to make the calls, if you're able to actually come, even just for the main call on Wednesdays from 11 to 1, one of the things that I do is I give you the first 10 minutes of the call from 11 to 10 just to fill out the form. It's all about the form. You just go in, you fill it out, you get it done, and then we move on to coaching. So if you're the kind of person that's like, oh, I hate doing stuff outside of the calls and you got time to just physically be here, this Scaling Systems Mastermind is perfect for you. I designed it for people like me that buy courses and then just like never do them. That's okay. That's who this is for. So for you, I make sure that like on the in the Scaling Systems Mastermind, you're never going to be wondering, okay, where am I? Am I falling behind? Because every single week you'll get that form. And we're even working on making it even jazzier and creating an automation so that if you don't fill out your form for the week, not in a penalizing way at all, but you'll just get a reminder and be like, hey, here's the link to fill out your form, and make sure that you get that in so that you can get feedback. So even if you forget, even if you can't come to the calls, even if you're traveling, you can still get private one-on-one feedback. And of course, if you're like, okay, it's like another thing for like, let's say if you are, I call it like a stay-at-home startup, and you are an amazing parent and your kids are home from school for the day, and you're like, okay, I filled out my form already for the week, but now I've got a sick kid. Like that is something we create sick kid protocols. We've got a sick parent protocol. Like what are the when you have to either feel like you're a solo parent, when you've got sick kids, when you're sick yourself, we go in the Scaling Systems Mastermind and make sure that your business doesn't take a hit. This is something that one of my clients, Sally, her house flooded. Like it's not like if when, especially for a year-long mastermind, like Scaling Systems is, for me, it's not a matter of if things are going to happen during the year, it's when. I want you to expect the unexpected. I want you to know that there are going to be things that happen that are completely outside of your control, things that are really great, things that are not great, and everything in between. You're going to get like, I mean, for me, I was in a car accident earlier this year, and I also was able to go on a trip like with a whirlwind that was kind of a surprise. We're planning a wedding, a really great thing, and we're also kind of like planning and saving up for a house. So there's lots of things that are going to be a part of your business journey over the next 12 months. I mean, think about it. Think about how much you've changed from October of 2024 to October of 2025. Your business has probably changed a lot. I hope it's for the better, and I'm hoping that I can just put gasoline on your fire. But if your business has shifted, like many people have this year, you're in a good place. And the Scaling Systems Mastermind is going to support you whether or not you can be on the calls. But coming back to the sick kid, when you're like, oh my gosh, this just happened, or I just did a webinar, I need help. I need to figure out what happened. That did well, it went well, I'm kind of struggling with it still. That's okay because there is a questions and coaching place here. And you can put anything from freebies to your webinar to quizzes to websites to curriculum feedback to your bio to I don't know how to respond to a post. What should my DM conversation starter be? All of these things are in the stream. And it's like, okay, I've got a sick kid. What do I do? Anything like that is available for you in the mastermind. So if you're like, oh, what if I want to get feedback outside of filling out that little form? That little form is just private feedback between you and me. The only thing that I want you to be aware of is if you are posting in the stream, it's free game. Everyone can see it, which means that if somebody has an idea, if somebody is wanting to do like a collaboration, maybe doing some peer coaching, doing a co-working call where you guys just focus in on get stuff done, that's what the stream is for as well. So you can get private feedback weekly and public feedback weekly. Obviously, for bigger submissions like webinars and websites, I ask that you give me a full week to submit and get an answer. But for the shorter term things like, I don't know how to respond to this. Can you check over my freebie? Can you look at this marketing post? Do one freebie at a time for the love of everything good and pure. Give me patience. But I try and get that back to you within 48 hours. 72 is my guarantee because I want to give myself space over the weekend so that I'm not losing it. So that is what happens within the mastermind. And if you want to get feedback, if you're like, oh my God, my kid's sick, Sally, her house flooded it was in the first 2 weeks of the mastermind, her house literally flooded. It was a basement flood. They had to physically move out of her entire home. Such a journey. And she was still able to get 3 consults in. Even just being a part of the calls was enough for her to understand, okay, here's what I need to do and here's how I can get things done. So for you all that are like, oh my gosh, I'm worried that within the next 12 months, life is gonna life. I'm not worried. I'm guaranteeing it's gonna happen. And that's why this mastermind is a full year. Within scaling systems, I wanted to make it statistically inevitable that you succeed. And so if your partner's like, why are you signing up for this thing for a full year? It's because there's going to be stuff that happens that is planned, that is not planned. And we're going to figure out ways to make your business work no matter when it is. So, how do I give feedback? So, one of the things that I think is really important is you knowing that when you join the Scaling Systems Mastermind, I am in your business, which is a good thing. I love to figure out understanding what is your business like, what kind of things are you creating. I want to be a co-creator with you. I want to help you to make sure that your business is doing well, which means looking over your offer, looking over your marketing calendar, looking over your sales calls, looking over your protocol for managing leads. All of those things that are the CEO skill sets, these are the exact structures for what it takes to build a six-figure business. And I make sure that I know what they are for you. And then all these other things are bonuses. So I'll get into it for a second. But when I was showing you Chittle's information here, you might have been wondering, okay, I've seen the form, which is this, the thing that you fill out every week. The spreadsheet is where you get your Loom feedback. So I understand how I get private feedback every week. I understand how I put in for feedback. But where are all the templates? You talk about systems all the time. Where are those? That's what's in your scaling systems folder. So everyone in the entire mastermind gets this. And I ask you to give my VA, who is incredible, 24 to 48 hours to get this to you. So if you sign up and you're like, where's my folder? We don't have that as an automation yet because we physically have to go in by hand and make this for all of you. And if you're like, where's my form? Where's my spreadsheet? We want you to get this as soon as possible, but it does take time to make. So I say, give us 48 hours for it. But then you will have in here your offer for your marketing. We've got your whole marketing calendar and ideas for posts. For sales, I talk about what you do before your consult, during your consult, even after your consult, the exact messages to say, what objections to cover, and how to evaluate your consult. So that's all within that module. I also talk about how to reach out to people so you become the top of mind expert. And I also talk to you about how to use our financial tracker and all those things. So that's the scaling systems folder is all of the templates for the entire mastermind, not just what I call the foundational five, but anything from like, oh, we want to talk about mindset cycles. These are all additional systems, how to plan out your year, how to do a webinar, how to make sure your clients are getting what they need. All of those things are things that you cover within the Scaling Systems Mastermind, and every single one of those is duplicated for you. So let's say you want to do a webinar. I will go on the Scaling Systems calls, on our weekly calls, and I'll go in and I'll say, okay, so you want to do a webinar. Let's talk about the webinar. Okay, what are we going to do? What is the piece of your offer that we're going to be focusing on this week? Let's talk about it. And I literally pull it up on the screen and we talk through every single piece. Now again, if you can't make the calls, that's fine. You can submit it just like oh, here we are. Just like Julie did this morning. So those are the things that we want to focus on and the things that like I will give you feedback on and just make sure that you made it so I can edit it. If it's something that I can't see, that's important. But like I can literally look over everything from, okay, I made my offer, help me come up with a cool name for it. Or if you want on the calls, I will literally pull up like Julie's, I'll pull up her offer and it's going to be great. The next thing is if you just have random questions for us within the mastermind. Like Leslie was like, "Hey, can you go ahead and tell me where I can find information about being a guest on podcasts?" That's a great question. So within the mastermind, the reason why I make it statistically inevitable is it's not just about the foundational five systems. Like I mentioned before, the foundational five systems are your offer, which means that you know how to explain it to your cousin and or on stage at a networking event if you're presenting there. I also talk about your CEO self-concept. That's the first piece of things because if you could sell the best offer since sliced bread, and if you don't have the confidence to back it up, no one's gonna buy it. So that's the first thing is how you're showing up for your business, how to really show up like a CEO. The second element of the foundational five is the six-figure offer. Well, I call it, it's kind of like these used to be combined. So the six-figure CEO self-concept and the offer are the foundation, and then we have the marketing systems, the selling systems, the lead management system, and then the planning systems. And as you can see, you can go back and look at all the calls, all of them, all the way down to here. So that is what is, and they also have like where to find extra systems and resources as well. So if you're like, okay, Megan, I know you've got a lot of resources in here, but like for anyone that is one of my clients, these are the essentials. You just need to know for the managing leads piece of things, you need to know how to talk to people that doesn't seem salesy or creepy. You need to know how to post every single day on like at least consistently on social media. I would say 3 times a week at minimum. And you need to know how to close a sales call and you need to know how to plan your time. Those are the basics. But you do not need to have a perfect, clean cut delivery process for your clients in order to make six figures. You do not need to do a webinar to make six figures. You do not need to know how to do financial projections, a 5 year plan, annual planning, monthly checklist, mindset cycles, goal achievement. You don't need any of that to make six figures. However, the reason why I include them in the additional systems to the Scaling Systems Mastermind is some people might want to do webinars. Some people might want to make their 5 year plan. And this is a place where you can find it in the additional systems and resources. So within the additional systems and resources, we go through and I talk about, okay, here are just some other really helpful systems that could be helpful for you. And then within the bonus systems, these are the things, and I'm sorry the thumbnails aren't loading, but these are things that are just really helpful for you, like how to make a group program. If you want to start a group coaching program or just like a regular group program, that's a module about it. If you want to grow your network on LinkedIn, I have a module for that. If you the and I also do within the mastermind, we do quarterly challenges. The next one will, I think, start in November after everyone's had a chance to chill out for a second. The money back kickstart fast action toolkit, how to make your money back in the first 30 days, how to remix a reel, how to make a program guide, how to what are B-roll ideas, how to remix a reel, how to do ManyChat, how to make a freebie. Any of these are all listed in the bonus systems. And these are just helpful tools that I have within here. Then what we have over here is guest speakers. So if you need to learn how to use TikTok to its fullest, Emily, who's a current masterminder, did a fantastic training on it. If you notice that you're going into speaking events and you are freaking out, there's a whole nervous system training from Leah that can be really helpful. But I know what these things are. You do not need to know what these things are. So I just want you to go into that stream and ask some questions. And I want you to be like, I don't know. It's like, I'm sure that you have something here. Like Leslie just posted, how do I get to be a guest as on people's podcasts? How can I do that? And so what I'll do is I'll just go in here. Now tag Leslie. She has 2 accounts, which is awesome. That's really okay. There's the pillar. It's like, here's the training on it. And I answer those questions in there too. So that is what I think would be helpful for you. I went down a stream. Okay, and then so it's like we've got guest speakers, everything in like there is just so much in here and I do not want you to have to go through all of it. I do not want you to have to go through any of these things on your own. I want you to focus on just showing up for me within these calls, and if you have questions, just ask them. You do not need to get creative, but the Scaling Systems Mastermind is designed for people who want to move forward. So it's like, hey, I noticed, like, here's a template I need help with. here's a mindset struggle I know that is holding me back. I'm scared to um, do speaking engagements and I need some coaching on it. Those are the kind of things that you want to post in there because they're going to be the things that will move you forward. So this is the course piece of the Scaling Systems Mastermind. And then the discussion stream, the events, the leaderboard, all these things, this is the chat. This is the discussion stream, and it's what we call the Scaling Systems community. You'll get reminders about calls, you'll get all that jazz here. So that is what we have in here for the folder and where all the resources are. Every training's in there. If you go into each module, not just the foundational modules, but the ones afterwards, those are the things that you have posts. There's like a folder for it. And if you're like, oh, I want to take some notes on a bonus or an additional system. Oh, I loved Joy's podcast training on guest speaking. I want to put this here. And for me, if you have a niche or an area that is unique and something I don't want to help with, like we have one on like making a website and things like that. You can go ahead and post them in here, or you can ask me if you can pitch it to the group. And I like to have a guest speaker a month, so I'd love to have you. And we'll be getting into for the additional systems and guest speakers. We're going to have everything from ads to speaking engagements to hiring. Those are going to be the things that we're going to be talking about in the next quarter. I'm taking some caffeine. Also, I don't know if anyone is a Halloween person, but I'm no longer a ghoul friend, but Halloween is my favorite holiday. And I've got like all the Halloween things here. I digress. But the Scaling Systems Mastermind is really like the reason why I made this is not just because it's a really jazzy group of people who also dig funny things like Halloween and sharing about those things, but it's just for the people who are like, I'm really aggressively like ready to take action. I just don't know what action to take. I will tell you what's wrong in your business. I will literally take a look at it. I was just looking at the person who joined the mastermind yesterday. I literally like looked at their Instagram and I was like, okay, it's so good. This person is insanely credentialed. Like I'm talking master's degrees, like they know their stuff. And I was like, I know what is holding your offer back from selling like hotcakes. It's the offer. Or it's what you're talking about in your marketing. Or it's that you haven't gotten enough leads. I can just look at it immediately. For them, the problem was the offer. But literally, that is something that we were already clearing up today on the first call. Because as soon as you sign up, you can start coming to calls. So that's the fun piece about the Scaling Systems Mastermind is it's not like delayed gratification. It's instantly like you have a problem, we'll solve it. I will give you a to-do list. And that's why I think is important about like having the accountability every week is every single week you're going to go in and you're going to get the exact implementation that you need to move forward that week. And then we got to talk about what we're doing monthly. Again, apologies, guys. I am very dehydrated. I've been going since 9 a.m. today, which is awesome. I can't wait for you guys to get here from 9 to 5, literally just like coaching all day. I'm living the dream. It is so fun. And I still get my marketing done. I still get all that stuff done outside of the typical weekly calls, but I'm dehydrated, so I need to take a sip. Okay, so within the mastermind, not only do I give you weekly feedback, but I don't want to just be the kind of like, I don't want to not know you. If you are in the Scaling Systems Mastermind, you've paid good money for me to know who you are and what your offer is and what you do. And I know also with 3 hours of calls, like I know people's businesses in that program. Now, the thing that helps me take it to the next level is doing what I call monthly evals. So when you join the 12-month Scaling Systems Mastermind, every single month, you go in and you get a monthly review. I'm going to show you what that looks like. You also get a social media audit. So a lot of times what happens is when you're going through and you're sharing about like your personal things that are going on here, I can see the amount of money that you're making. I can see if you're working an extreme amount of hours. I can see that's like not in a good way, or if I know that you're taking like some time to set up things. But the things that I can't see sometimes are how many consults you're bringing in. Sometimes I can't see in here. I'm like, okay, it looks like they're trending up, but I haven't seen them make any money. Why is that happening? Why this person is awesome. Their offer is great. Why haven't they brought in a consult this week or this month? And I've got to find that out. And I can't see that necessarily every week. We have to look at bigger trends, and you're ready to do that in scaling systems, even if you haven't made any money yet. Because the main issue is when you are in the scaling systems mastermind, I want to know why it I want to know exactly what it takes to make what I call your six-figure formula. I want to make it statistically inevitable that you hit six and multiple six figures. So if your partner's like, that sounds too good to be true, I don't blame them. It's like, I do not want to be selling snake oil. That is not my intent. But something that's really important is I do want to know how many consults you're getting every week, how many clients you're signing, how many posts you're doing, are you getting consistent? And there are typical benchmarks for everyone in scaling system that I recommend. And what I say is you can either adopt, adapt, or abandon anything that I teach. So you can adopt my 3 posts a week kind of thing. You can adapt it to be like, okay, I want to do 3 posts and 3 reels a week. You can abandon it and say, okay, I want to do like 2 posts a week, but I want to test to make sure that that still works and converts for my marketing. So all of that is here. And you go through and you'll go and you'll talk to me about how many people you're talking to every month. And that's what happens on the monthly eval. So I say, okay, hey, Sammy, what was your goal this past month for the number of clients you wanted to sign? What was your goal for the money you made? What was your result? What was the result for clients and money? And then a quick eval. What worked? What could be improved? What do you want to do differently? And then what is the actual goal for the next month? Okay. So where do we track that? How do I see every single month for 12 months that you actually have this here? Is I will literally go in, well, not me, my amazing VA and her team will go in and they will track and say, oh, here's Sammy's goals, here's her results. And I'm like, okay, Sammy has been killing it. I am seeing that she got 3 more clients. She only wanted 1 client and she got 3. Amazing. Or I'll see, ooh, Sammy had a goal for 3 clients and she only got 1. Do we need to readjust the goal? Do we need to readjust the plan? And then I go in and I give a private video every single month to every person in the mastermind. This is why in the future, the price of the mastermind will probably be changing. And this is why within this is all just me right now. And that's why the price of the mastermind is going to be changing because I have to hire other people to help me with this. But if you sign up now, it's just Megan Wing, soon to be Megan Lowe. So that's all going to be here. And that's what is going to be in the last piece. If you're like, okay, Megan, I've been keeping tabs on your ADHD brain, your sweet little ADHD brain. What is this six-figure strategy document? That's what this is. Not only do we have in the six-figure strategy document, do I want to be documenting, okay, what are the things that are working for you? What's moving forward? But I also want to go in and I want to track, you know how one of the things that I have found is that like if I'm in different group programs, I will forget what I got coaching on and need coaching on the same thing over and over and over again. So I put all of your live calls, all of the coaching you get in the stream, all of that is in here for you, ready to go. So that is what we do in the Scaling Systems Mastermind. That's how we make it statistically inevitable that you grow. So I'm just going to go through. I think it covered all the features. I think it's pretty good. So one of the things that I get from a lot of people, I coach a lot of people who are stay-at-home startups and people who are working full-time to go full-time in their business. They're like employees that want to be entrepreneurs full-time. And so for them, they're like, I'm already exhausted. I get that, guys. I'm drinking my green tea. I get it. And I also know how exhausting it can be when you're like, oh, do I want to add another thing? I paid for things before. Is this really going to be the thing that works? I hear you. And one of the things that I found is the reason why most people are exhausted and the reason why I've been coaching from, I actually got up at 5 a.m. today, like raring to go. And the reason I can coach and work for 10 hours, which is not typical, it's just during launch. But within my business, when I'm thinking about growing, I know what to do. I know exactly how my business is going to hit my goals. I know what's missing. Every time I hit, there's going to be three things that happen with your business. You miss your goal, you hit your goal, or you exceed your goal. Those are the only three options. So within your business, if you are working towards your goal and you have no idea how to get there, you're going to end up feeling very, very drained by the end of the day. Versus for me, I know exactly how to make money in my business. I know what problems are happening in my business and I know how to fix them. So I think that if you're feeling maxed out and your business is taking a lot of the energy for you, it's probably because you don't know what to do. And I can help you with that. If you're like, oh, I'm not consistent enough, I'm probably going to fall behind. That happens for a lot of my people. They think that, and especially if you are the kind of person who has rose to a very high level, you're a high achiever. As a high achiever, some of us develop unhealthy perfectionist tendencies that get us really far in your jobs. So, totally here for that. Most of my clients are extremely high achievers and they got there by doing the right thing and by doing it perfectly. And they look at this stuff for scaling systems and they're like, oh my God, how can I do it perfectly? I can't. It's too much. I can't join this program until I've got a lot of time. And those are the people that sadly do not get their businesses going as fast as others because their perfectionist tendencies hold them back. And what I do instead is I work with your perfectionist tendencies and I say, okay, if you aren't posting it all on social media and you're expecting your business to grow, we need to fix that because it's free. It's literally a free form of marketing. And I made $1 million on Instagram alone. So for you, if you're like, oh my God, I'm not consistent at all, we're going to play to those perfectionist tendencies. And I'm going to say, okay, we're going to start with one post a week. I'm going to help you write it. We're going to know the topic of it. All you need to do is submit it and, or like post it. And sometimes I'll even have my clients post on the call. And then that overcomes the perfectionist tendency that you need to break for to go from an employee to an entrepreneur. That's an extremely important piece of actually scaling your business, especially as a coach, is you have to be willing to build yourself up to being consistent. And same with signing clients. If you're like, I haven't signed a single client yet, should I join scaling systems? Absolutely. Because you're going to spin your wheels if you don't have a six-figure offer alone, I would say the 7,500 that this offer is currently, like that the scaling systems mastermind is, I would say the entire $7,500 is worth it just for the six-figure offer because most people are spinning their wheels trying to sell something that is not good. Like it's like if you were, and not that it's not good, but like Megan Wing coaching was relying entirely on people to know who the heck Megan Wing was and trust me enough to pay me, let's say 7,500. No one, unless they really like me, was gonna do that. When I changed it to the career fulfillment initiative, then of course people were throwing money at me because I was offering them career fulfillment. So if you sell an offer that people don't want to buy, it doesn't matter how nice you are, it doesn't matter how friendly you are, it doesn't matter how smart you are or how much money you've made in the past. If it's something that doesn't fill a need, you need to be in this program. And if you are not getting consistent consults, and if you're getting ghosted on consults, and if you're not or getting no shows, or I need to think about it, that means that it's a sign that you've got an offer problem. That means that it's not compelling enough for people to actually take action. And I'm trained as a life coach first. And one of the things that we know, like I've learned as a coach, is people will only take action if they are compelled enough to take action. Most people want to stay the same. They don't want to do any work. They want to, even if where familiar it is very uncomfortable. It's not necessarily their comfort zone, but it's just that they need to feel safe enough to change, which requires a lot for their brain to do. So they need to feel really compelled that it's worth it to be uncomfortable with you. It's worth it to spend money with you. It's worth it to take the time with you. And in order to do that, you need to sell them a result that is irresistible, that they would feel crazy to say no to. And that is what we do in the Scaling Systems Mastermind. Do, 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 do. If you're like, I need to be, this is another funny one. It's like, I'm not very organized. It's like, well, then you need this program because if you ever want to scale past six figures, you probably will need some support. And that means you might need a VA and you probably need to be organized to tell the VA what to do. Or else I've heard of somebody, I heard, which is so fascinating, going through eight different VAs in a year. It's a lot of VAs. I was like, that's a system problem. We are either lacking clarity on what is needed, or we are the kind of person that it needs more organization. So you hiring another VA and waiting till you get organized, let's just nip that in the bud and let's get it done in the in scaling systems. Okay, what if I go all in and this still doesn't work? These are for the people who have been like trying so many things all year, and you're like, it's October. I see that we're three-quarters into 2025, and I've been trying a lot of things, Megan. I don't believe that this is going to be much new information. I know I need to post, but why is this program different? It's this program gives you the actual proven strategies to make your post convert. If you're like, oh, if I go all in and I message people and it doesn't work right away, I'm expecting that. That's why it's 12 months. I need to help you tweak your message. I don't want you to go in and message 700 people in day one. We tweak it every single week so that you figure out, okay, what in my wording converts? What actually is the thing that lands people? And if you do want to, this is all about organic marketing, aka no ads, free. But one of the reasons why I'm including paid marketing into this mastermind is because if you want to go that route, you first and foremost, if you want to do ads or are currently doing ads, you have to figure out what actually sells organically in order to make it work. Like one of my clients had this amazing course that they put out. And if you do have a course, this still works for you, but the course wasn't a good offer. It didn't sound like it was something that was compelling. It wasn't a six-figure offer. So, of course, two people bought it after selling it for a month. So, what you want to do if you're only getting sales, if you're not getting consistent sales, we've got to make sure we figure out what works within this mastermind. And that's why it's so long. Do, do, do. I don't know if I'd find the time to do everything that's in this program. That's why we scaffold it. This is for my perfectionists. We got to make sure that you are going in and actually having a protocol to make sure that instead of it being something that is a nice to have, is a um like filling in the blanks. Like most of my clients are, again, very busy people, and we have to fit their business into maybe 20 hours a week, 30 hours a week. That means that, especially if you run a business like a coaching business where you're coaching people one to one, that means that probably 10 to 15 of those 20 to 30 hours a week need to be spent coaching. So if you only have 5 to 10 to 15 hours a week to actually work on the back end of your business, you don't have time. We don't have time to mess around. You got to make sure that every minute of those counts, that every single day you know what to do to bring in consults. And that's what helps my clients to get fully booked. Just like Joy, 102 followers. She got fully booked, made 50K in April and May, and she's starting her mastermind. That these are the kind of things that happen. And she only had 263 followers by the time that she was already fully booked. It doesn't take more followers. It doesn't take you working all the time. She gets her post, she's a single mom. She gets her posts done in like an hour, especially with AI. We use that to our advantage. But then what happens is then she's able to actually enjoy time with her child, which is the whole reason she started this business in the first place. So and it seems like scaling systems is for you. I've got two things for you. First and foremost, sign up. I would love to see you in the program. And I'm going to, if you sign up, you'll get access to the portal right away, and you'll get access to the calls right away and the course. So you'll get access to all three of those things immediately. Go ahead and join the next call, post in the group, ask your questions, and I've got you. However, if you're like, I need to think through some of these decisions, I believe at this point, consults are taken through the week, which is exciting. But I also know that there are more of you that want to get support because this is the last time to join the mastermind in 2025. So there's very This is a very, very important time if you're thinking about joining the Scaling Systems Mastermind. I want to get you in here as soon as possible. So, guess what? In the mastermind, if you are like, I'm thinking about it, but I want to hear about how you customize it for me, I'm going to open complimentary consults to the second week in October. So only through the second week. If you book by the 5th of October, you are going to be able to still get the closing cart bonus for the mastermind. So, what is the closing cart bonus for the mastermind? The closing cart bonus for the mastermind is an entirely new portal. This is the marketing systems portal. And within here, this is my whole program that all we talk about is marketing. So you are just going to be learning about your marketing. We're not going to go over the six-figure offer or anything like that in here, but you get an extra portal, an extra 1 hour of calls every single week if you sign up before Friday at midnight Eastern. So if even if you sign up for a consult, and let's say like I saw somebody this morning, they booked a consult for Monday at 9 a.m. Which is going to be October 6th, even if you're booking consults for later in the week, totally fine, no biggie. I'll still give you, I will still honor marketing systems just so long as you actually sign up for that consult by midnight. Okay. So if you won't get access obviously to the mastermind until you pay. But if you want to sign up for that consult, you can. And I will still honor the bonus if you do sign up for the mastermind. Obviously, you will not get a $1,500 program if you sign up for just for a consult for free. But if you sign up for the mastermind, that is what you will get. If you have any other questions, you let me know. And I can't wait to see you in the Scaling Systems Mastermind so soon.